Welcome to Talking with a Dad, episode 23. Steve, we're just going to call this the Low Energy Podcast.
So,
this has been a long week for both of us. Been a long, stressful week. It's been a long, stressful week for the world. Let's be fair, right? Let's not.
If this week was your ex-girlfriend, anyone's ex-girlfriend, I want you to imagine the worst ex-girlfriend you've ever had, and then deciding to get back with her for one more go. That's what this week has been. Did that quantify it well enough, you think? Or
no, it's been way worse than that. Let's be fair. The stock market's down like an incredible amount. We're down under 20,000 for the first time since the beginning of 2017. Like we're like the worst stock trading week since 2008. Like companies are thinking about deferring mortgage payments, right? Like we're in serious times here.
Very serious.
But with the news coming out of China saying that that region hasn't had a new case, I don't know if it's true, right? How much can we trust that information coming out of China? But there's some good news, right?
Yeah, some good news. I'm trying to think of what else. If anything good has come out of this, so it's giving us more time with our families, right? People are spending more time home. Not you and I, but other people.
No, I'm working more than ever.
Spending more time at home and content on YouTube from all the content creators. They've stepped up their game. I've seen some interesting videos. Ben Shapiro's been swinging, just throwing punches, not holding back.
I don't care about that guy. I think esports is going to be a legitimate player in the market after this.
Oh, it's easy to be the player in the market when
you're the only one. But going forward, when everything is back, when F1 is back and MLS and MLB and NHL, right? When all that's back, I think esports is going to have a solidified spot in the mainstream.
I've said it before, man. I'll say it again. I think esports should stay right where it's at. And when you say esports, let me just be very specific right now. I'm going to be serious. I think the COD League, just talking about that there. Just say plant it right where it's at. YouTube, don't make the same mistake.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's going to become a legitimate contender in viewership. Just like at one point the UFC was middling and really small, and then it's blowing up, right? I think this is the moment that esports was able to shine. F1,
no, I agree with you.
F1 is putting a virtual league together with their current driving roster.
Right. Let me stop you right there. Do you think they should stay on YouTube and stay away from major networks?
I think they should do a joint, a conjunction, but they shouldn't do it with ABC, NBC, CBS. Those it should be on ESPN. ESPN at the end of this will make an ESPN esports. They already cover esports pretty extensively, right? They have people who write for them and do coverage and stuff. But I think at the end of this, there is instead of ESPN 3. Or whatever it is, right? There will be an ESPN esports.
You know what? I wouldn't be mad at that. We should actually do. You just took me down memory lane. We should actually do a history of the UFC. I know it's been done before on YouTube.
That's a lot, dude.
There is. I'm talking about just their network history. Fascinating stuff. I've never seen a company closer to going out of business every day than early UFC.
Wow, we're going right back to that territory right now. The UFC has turned into Dana White's looking for a venue.
Still funny.
First time you said
that, I spit my guac out of my porch.
When I originally saw that, I saw it. I admittedly, I can tell you this now. I stole that joke, which is not shocking. I'm not originally funny. It was way more harsh of a joke than it was than I kind of lessened it. I dumbed it down a little bit, but I thought it was even more brutal and more harsh going into it. But
I think it's entirely appropriate. I know we've talked about this before we get into the topics. I think Fight Pass was a good move on the UFC's part, right? It was amazing when it
still is.
It's still a very good move. I just don't know about ESPN Plus sometimes, and then also I know what Dana was trying to do with the whole we'll just have the fights here and there, but it wasn't. It's stacked against you. No one's gonna let that happen.
It's massively stacked against you.
Yeah, like as soon as forget the commission. When the real governing bodies start getting in, like, what are you talking about, man? We don't care how many people are in the room. Like, like, no, you can't do this. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes for UFC. And what else is going on in our little I call this the shoot the breeze portion of the show. We could kind of just rattle off stuff. I almost killed a person, man. I shouldn't say that on air, but there was another person that just like coughed in my airspace, and I was like, listen, this is not about me thinking I'm gonna die from the thing that shall not be named. This is about you not having respect as a human being. You ever have those moments where it's just like little kids? Yeah, I get it, man. Yeah, they're little kids.
They don't know better.
They don't respect us. You, on the other hand, have been on this earth for at least 40 years, and now you're gonna die getting ankle picked by a man that's 20 pounds overweight.
Are you threatening to ankle pick people?
No, if I do anything, it's armbar. I'm gonna fucking armbar you. I'm gonna make sure when I grab it, I drop all my weight into it.
My entire arm hurts there. Now I made like a semi-serious threat to fucking ankle pick someone today.
At work?
Yeah.
You have like a real job. The HR bunches are gonna come get you, bro.
They're not there anymore. They're gone. We're good for a while.
Oh, that's great stuff, man.
Yeah.
You eat anything good this week, Zach?
I have had pizza, I think 5 times this week.
That's amazing.
No, it's not. If someone were to mention pizza to me right now, I would fucking just throat chop somebody.
Good job.
Just whoop-ah! I'm just done with it. I'm done with it. It's not good pizza. It's not good pizza. We in our town have good pizza. Like,
yes.
Pretty, like, not like, New York City street pizza, good pizza, right? Ooh. But like legitimate good pizza, I think. Yeah. And God, man, this pizza is like, I would literally rather have Domino's.
Ooh.
Because Domino's is consistent, right? And it's consistently mediocre, and I can appreciate that, right? Yeah. There is a tier of pizza, Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, that is shit tier pizza, like in general, but they're good shit tier pizza.
Absolutely.
That's what I ate this week, pretty much almost exclusively. Oh, also corned beef and cabbage, right?
Ooh.
That was this week. Yes, it was, because it was a funny story, right? My family we usually get 3 corned beefs. This year we only had the ability to get 2 because of all of what's going on. So my family had 1 corned beef and I had 1 corned beef. I came home and they're like, hey, we got this other corned beef. It's slightly different than the one that we had. Ours was salty. And I'm like, no, this is great. And I just scooped it, placed it, ate all of it. But like literally like 1 tiny piece this size and like that thick. I left. I was like, yeah, you guys can have the rest of that. I ate all of it.
I was assuming you were going to say I just went in my room like, don't talk to me, and started crying.
No. I'll eat the dinner table with everyone else. Once I get home, an hour after everyone has already had their dinner.
I had some, my wife made some delicious pork ramen last night actually. So good.
With like actual ramen noodles?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds amazing, dude.
Very, very good.
Sounds so good.
We didn't have any bouillon, so what she did was she used the sauce or the juices from the pork to mix it together with the soup, and I was like, I want to know how this is going to turn out, and it turned out amazing. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Bouillon is the way you go if you're really kind of like in a rush, but really you want to cook the pork down, let it sweat, and reduce that into the sauce, the soup sauce. All right, let's get into this, man. What do you feel like starting off with, Zach? What do you want to start? Shout out to Podbean. Zach just shared numbers with me, and I love our Podbean. We love Podbean. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everyone who are our audio listeners. We usually thank you at the end of the show, but we're going to give you a shout out at the beginning of it. Hey, it's not to mention our YouTube audience. If you guys know we do YouTube videos. So let's start off with the thing we're going to want to apologize for. Okay, let's do it. Life has gotten super real here in the last few weeks. I have been working more than ever. Honestly, if I would have had to, I might have even rivaled my most hours worked in a week this week. And if I would have had to work tomorrow, which pretty much everyone refused to, so ultimately I didn't have to, I would have greatly surpassed my most hours worked in a week.
We haven't been able to do any reading. If it would have been a normal month, like we both, I think, legitimately could have made a run at it. 1,000's a big number, right? 1,000's a big number. I think we could have made a legitimate run at it. I don't know if either of us would have actually been able to complete it, but we definitely would have killed ourselves trying to. But I'm still at where I was after week 1. I don't know where you're at.
I'm not even like I pick up my book every once in a while and I'm just like, I'm not doing this. And that's when I knew I had already started looking at more videos on how to edit than I was doing reading.
But yeah, with the whole situation going on, man, it's real hard for anything to happen. I'm an essential worker at my job, so I'm putting a lot of hours in there. Actually, like I usually don't have the work phone with me, but I've been watching it because I've been watching the emails come in. But by the time I left today at like 5:30, 5:15, 5:30, whatever it was, by the time I got home, which is 45 minutes or so, maybe a little bit less depending on how illegal I'm driving, I had 110 emails come in.
Holy shit. It's just, are those all support emails or what?
I think 15 or 20 of them were support, but the other ones were stuff going back and forth that with people who were still in the office. So, there's a lot of work going into keeping things up and running, and unfortunately, that has not made it conducive for us to be able to continue this reading challenge. So, I still think there should be a punishment for us both ducking out, failing, us being the worst people on the planet at the moment, other than the guy who ate that bat.
Guy's a winner, man.
We're number 2. We're number 2 and 3. Actually, 2 and 2A. I'm 2. Steve's 2A.
Zach is the weak bottom.
I don't know where we're going with this. I don't want to go down that path. But moral of the story is, we're sorry. We will make it up to everybody. We've already talked about because we missed a week of videos. We're gonna do an extra podcast 1 week coming up. And there's some other news coming on the channel coming out soon. So there'll be some stuff going on in the channel, and there'll be a reward for the viewers and the listeners for us canceling out of this reading challenge, but we haven't quite decided yet.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, Steve?
I mean, you summed it up pretty well, man. Life got real, and then things got really real, and it's hard to kind of take yourself to that space where it's like, I just need time to read, which sounds like it would be a nice respite from the reality of the situation. But all I kept finding myself thinking about was obviously the thing that will not be named.
The outbreak.
The outbreak, if you will. The bad eater's consequences. And we do apologize, but we'll come up with other fun challenges and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, I couldn't settle on a book. That was another thing, man. I was like, man, I didn't realize
Steve sucked at that.
I didn't realize how many books were so short of 1,000 pages, and I was like, I'll be damned if I read Shakespeare's complete works again.
It didn't have to be 1, because this is technically 3.
It's 3 books.
3 books.
3 books
in a series.
I want to jump from this after our sorry, and I just want to ask Zach. We really should have combined these 2 topics into one, but they each deserve their own topic.
Yes, they do.
So I'm going to ask you, Zach.
There's actually 3 topics if this is the one we're looking at.
So let's start with the stronger performer of the 2.
Okay.
We talk about this a lot. We talk about the Xbox Series X a lot. I bring it up a lot because I feel like it's a hot button topic. People, blah, 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 blah. But they actually invited a few creators out to the Microsoft campus. I assume that's where they're at. Let them get some hands-on with the Xbox Series X, and then they let them check out a broken-down model, to check out all the components and everything. Okay. These were not paid, sponsored videos. These were just people coming in, and each person that went there had an amazing time at the campus. I'm sure they did, and also had an amazing time demoing the Xbox Series X.
Okay.
And so we got into Zach's going to give us some breakdowns on teraflops, because that just sounds like something that happens after you eat too much food in my house. But
the issue is I don't know exactly what the formula for teraflop is. I understand kind of what it means. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. So Xbox, long history. proprietary engineering, except for the original Xbox. You could actually at one point the original Xbox change the hard drive out yourself and load the OS on there. It was really hard to do, but it was doable, right? Same thing with the Xbox One. Hard to do, but doable. This time we're getting SSD in the Xbox 1000 gigabytes. It is a proprietary component. You're not swapping this out.
Here's the issue with saying it's proprietary.
Or proprietary. Actually, they're in partnership with Seagate when they made this thing. Actually, let me clean that up.
Well, the hard drive, right? Is this what we're talking about? You're talking about storage right now?
Yeah, not the hard drive, the SSD and the expandable storage.
Correct, right. So a hard drive is synonymous with storage. Let's start from the top. The Xbox Series X, right? AMD processor, 8-core AMD processor. I believe I called this to a T. I might have said it would have been a 6-core, but even last generation was an 8-core. And AMD is RDNA 2. I don't know what RDNA stands for. I'm kind of a little bit off on my RDNA. Oh, it's their ray tracing version of their GPU. Graphics card at 12 teraflops. Now, I don't exactly know how they're getting this number because I just looked it up slightly before this. An RTX 2070, which is a fairly high-end video card, right? Mid to high-end video card, achieves 7.5 teraflops. So, and a 2080, an RTX 2080 only does 10.1. So I don't know where they're coming up with this 12 teraflop number. They have been known to inflate the numbers of these. If we're looking at it from last year, the Xbox One X, which is the Pro version essentially, is 6 teraflops, right? So I don't exactly know where they're coming up with this number, but 12 teraflops, we'll go with that. 16 gigs of RAM, that's fine. That's a fairly normal standard size PC. A terabyte NVMe SSD, that's huge. Although the Sony one is also an NVMe. It says it's 825 gigs, of spoiler alert here, but generally Sony eliminates their OS storage from their total storage, where Microsoft will say it's a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD, where it'll have 110 gigs used for the onboard store, or for the onboard operating system and such. So 4K Blu-ray, that's kind of standard at this point. It says up to 8K support, but there's nothing for us to reference that on, so we'll never know. HDR, which is fine. 3 USB-A ports, HDMI out, optical, and a proprietary memory slot. The memory slot's pretty cool. They went old school memory card on it, which I think is cool. I think it's a good throwback. I think people will buy that for the nostalgia factor. So I think I like that a lot.
Did you happen to see any videos on the ray tracing?
No, but so they're both going to do ray tracing. This RDNA 2 graphics card is AMD's ray tracing graphics card. I just looked this up. Now, here's the issue, right? We want the thing to be reasonably priced, right? $500 or less. You cannot build this for $500.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking there's going to be different versions of it, and they've only announced the highest version, right? They haven't said, hey, this is the Xbox Series X Super Extreme, right? This is the top of the line version you can get. This is a $1,200 machine. Because that's, you're going to spend, $1,100, $1,200 in building a computer that's comparable, right? What it's going to come down to, we both have computers that are comparable to these machines. That's exactly where it sits, right? Our components may not look the same or feel the same or do the same thing, but our machines are comparable. So I have a better processor, you have a better processor, like, it is what it is, right? We're going to have to get over that that idea. So I think this is going to be priced at a point that's going to be $700. I'm going to call this at a $700 price point, with the PlayStation 5 coming in at $600. And they're going to beat it again, like they did last year, at $100 less.
PlayStation is going to beat Xbox.
Correct. They did that last year. The PS4 came out at $100 less than the Xbox. So I think they're going to do that again this year, and I think they're going to sell a shitload more consoles, even though these Xbox Series X will technically be the better machine. The processor is identical. It's slightly less gigahertz, 3.5 instead of 3.8. It's the gigahertz really don't matter as much as you would think, especially when they're that close. It's really how you utilize them. Right? Yeah. The issue with an 8-core machine is generally in PCs, your first core is taking the brunt of your load. Core 0 is taking the brunt of your load and always will. Right? Now, how is that going to affect the performance in a AMD card? Because AMD processors notoriously, that first core isn't as strong as the Intel first core. So we'll see where it goes. And 8-core doesn't even matter at this point, other than to run some background processes. They have the exact same graphics card, but the Xbox Series X has more compute units, right? It's 36 versus 52, and that's why there's more teraflops there. So there's a really, really big graphics card, but the machines are identical. They are, but they're always going to be.
Yeah,
they were last generation too. Where they really changed was the PS3 versus the Xbox 360. So. But they've been the same since, and they kind of always will be.
It's interesting. It's interesting. So, if you get a chance, after we're done doing this, watch the video of the ray tracing. Of course, they used Minecraft to sample that out. I guess
it's easy. Well, and Microsoft owns Minecraft.
So, detail, shading, everything looked better when it was on, right? I need to see some in-game with something else other than Minecraft, but I'm not sure that's something that I would necessarily, with my low-grade eyes, really would be missing out on my day-to-day gameplay. What do you think about that?
So, when you first upgraded to a 4K TV, you probably said the exact same thing, right? Yeah. Like, well, I won't even be able to tell the difference, right? But now if someone were to sit you in front of a 1080p TV and go, I want you to watch this next UFC card on this 1080p TV, you would know the difference, right?
Yes.
Ray tracing will be the same thing. At some point, ray tracing will be standard among everything, and it'll just be what is expected to run. Just like 60 FPS became that number at one point or another. So that's where we sit as far as ray tracing. I think ray tracing is cool. I don't have my card's technically capable of ray tracing, but I never did the bonus beta driver to actually get it enabled. I don't care personally. I'm more for higher frame rates. So if I could nix the ray tracing and you can guarantee me, 144 minimum frames per second always, even though I have a 240 hertz monitor now, like you guarantee me on any game 144 frames per second, no matter what, at 1080p. Then I'm fine with that over, fluctuating with ray tracing.
All right. Hey, what type of card do you have again? I always forget.
I have a 1080.
Okay, that's why.
The strongest card at the time, for sure.
So now we're gonna go to. I gotta tell you, brand wise, I've always been with Sony.
Me too.
And I've always been with Sony. I've never owned an Xbox in my entire life, and I've borrowed my friends' Xboxes. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy the user interface. I think it's cool, but it's not my thing. I've always just been a Sony guy. So I wasn't freaking out when Sony came in as a hard number 2 in the spec department. And even they've actually kind of lost public favoring.
Technically closer, but it's closer than what someone might think. But okay.
But the reveal. Did you watch any of the PS5 reveal? All right.
I heard it was at GDC, right? What was supposed to be at GDC, and it was very right. It was technical, yes. Right? So it was supposed to be at a conference for game developers. It wasn't supposed to be the reveal, but they had to do it virtually because everything got canceled.
Right.
So it became the reveal, and I think they should have postponed it and thought that one through a little bit more. Now,
also, people wanted something tangible they can see. They're still looking for
what it looks like. What does it look like? It's gonna. You know what the issue is? It's gonna look exactly like the PS4.
Yep.
Because that design works really well. It has really good heat dissipation. You could work on it. So I think it's gonna look exactly like the PS4, and people are gonna be pissed.
I don't need it to look any different. I just want it to perform well. I don't think I'll be buying one until it drops down in price. Obviously, I'd rather upgrade my PC or build a secondary PC for recording and et cetera, et cetera. But already the exclusive games are starting to be hinted at on PS5. Subsequently, a Spider-Man 2, aka Spider-Man PS5 leak was revealed. Some people don't know if it's real footage or not, and it looks amazing.
Okay.
I'm not talking about not game like just the stills itself. Like you never played the Spider-Man game, right? On PS4, have you?
No.
I might let you borrow mine just so you can play it because it's actually really fun. You're gonna play it. I'll come over there and I'll make you play it. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. There's nothing tangible to hold on yet to for Sony, and I feel like they missed. Like there's something going on over there. I don't know, either they're geniuses or they're just like, we're just gonna wait till the last minute, man. We're gonna wait till the last minute and blow them away. And then they do this reveal, and it's like anyone with a high school diploma sat through this thing and they were like, what? What is this guy saying? And it just fell flat.
Yeah, it was too technical for sure. I would definitely agree to that. So, you say that it's a hard second as far as performance goes.
No.
As far as performance. Raw performance, it is.
Hold on for a second. I want to quantify what I'm saying. Not performance. I didn't mean performance in the device. I mean the way that people are reacting to it.
Okay. So I don't care about people's public reaction, right? That has never been known to correlate between how they spend their money. Nope. Because the Xbox One X is a nicer machine than the PlayStation 4 Pro. It is more powerful. I think it looks better, right? All of the above. And the PS4
got a better fan too.
PS4 Pro outsold it 2-1, right? So let's go back in some stats. Xbox One X, again, Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro, this is what I'm going to be comparing here, have the exact same setup. AMD Jaguar, with the Xbox One X being clocked 0.2 higher, right? Integrated AMD GPU when it has 6 teraflops versus 4.2 with more compute cores, right? Same amount of RAM, same hard drive space, whatever, right? The Xbox has always had the more powerful machine. PS3 versus Xbox. The Xbox General CPU was way better because the PS3 had these cell cores that no one could use.
No one could develop on.
The GPU had more processing power on the Xbox 360, and the Xbox 360 had over 5 times more memory bandwidth.
Wasn't the PlayStation 2 their best performer spec-wise for its generation? I believe so.
Ooh, what is that? PS2 versus the original Xbox?
Yes, I believe so.
Xbox original.
Or was it the 360? No, it couldn't have been.
No, it couldn't have been the 360. It would have been the original Xbox and the GameCube.
Yeah.
So, no, the Xbox had a 733 megahertz processor, which is disgusting, and the PS2 had a 295 megahertz processor.
Man,
that's not even close.
No.
So, and Xbox had a graphics card technically, while the PS2 didn't.
And it was the highest. Is it still the highest sold console?
No, technically the Wii is, I think, or the Nintendo DS or whatever. But as far as home entertainment consoles, I think the PS2 is the highest selling of all time.
I don't really, so I watched the reveal video a few times. I actually had a lot of fun listening to these guys talk about it and stuff like that. Also, I knew it must have been kind of weird to be speaking to that empty room and trying to get energized. They're like,
hold on a second. I was very wrong. The PS2 is the best selling console of all time. I thought the Wii beat it, but the Wii had 101 million sales, while the PS2 had 155. But they also sold it for like 15 years. So
I love my PS2, man. I remember when I bought it.
I did too.
I remember I got off work at Blockbuster.
I remember when you bought it. I was there.
You were there. You were a little amoeba. And I was just like, come on, little flesh child.
I was 4 when the PS2 came out.
I went out, left Blockbuster, got my 40 ounce of Colt 45, and went to GameStop, picked up my PS2, got myself a hoagie to celebrate afterwards. Picked up a game that was, oh man, there's never been a worse shafting when it comes to gaming. So the mark of Cree, I think it was the Mark of Cree or the Mark of Kai, was supposed to be the next big hack and slash game, and it was so much fun.
You've been a huge fan of hack and slash for years, haven't you?
Yes, it was so much fun. Did some great things with the targeting and the peripheral targeting and stuff like that. But then this little game called God of War came. and completely stole its thunder, dude. And I just remember playing both those games on the PS2. Ah, so much fun. I digress, though. Yeah. Will I buy it? Will anyone buy it? Are you going to buy it? You're not going to buy it. You're
I'm
probably
not
waiting
gonna
to cover
buy.
it.
I'm not gonna buy either. At least within the first 2 years.
Yeah.
If there's an exclusive released on PlayStation, then yes, I would probably buy it. If they were to release like a SOCOM or a Mag 2 or something, then yes, I would buy a PlayStation. But there is nothing that holds me into it. The only reason I bought the Xbox One X that I have was for Red Dead 2, right? Which I never even finished. So I don't think I'll buy it.
Wait, you never finished that game?
No, I got most of the way through it. I thought it was really good. I just never had time. And plus, I don't have a 4K TV. Well, I do now, but I don't have a 4K TV to really hook the Xbox up to and like sit in front of it for a few hours and play. Because that's the way that it's meant to be played. And that's the experience that I would want with it. Right, is to really utilize the graphics of it and really try to perform it. Funny PS3 story or PS2 story.
Go for it.
I got the PS2 in like 2004, which is 4 years after it was released. My dad bought it for me. I was 8 years old.
Okay.
Do you know what the first game I ever owned? The first video game I had ever owned. This is the first game of console I ever had. It was the first video game that I had ever owned. Take one wild guess. You'll never guess the first game that my dad bought me.
Well, after a build up like that, I know I'm not going to guess it, but was it an FPS? Let me get some hints here. Was it FPS?
No, it's a shooter, I guess you could say. What was like the game? Huge game. A huge game on the PS2. Probably at the time, one of the best selling games of all time.
What the hell is it? Just tell me.
It's the Grand Theft Auto 3.
Oh, of course. Was that San Andreas?
No, that was Grand Theft Auto 3. San Andreas was number 5.
San Andreas was number 5?
Yeah, Vice City came out after 3, and then Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
What's GTA 5 then?
That is number like 11 or something.
I don't like when they start playing games like that. Oh, I can see how that was your first game, man. San Andreas was an amazing game, though. You have to admit. That was actually the only one I ever played. It's the only one I liked, to be honest with you. It's just not for me, that game. I wanted to play the other ones. It just gets crazier and crazier. Oh, wait. I got to ask you something before I forget. Doom. Do you care about this? A lot of people care about Doom, man.
Don't care about it. I never played it. Did you play it when you were younger?
I played the original incarnation of Doom on Super Nintendo.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. Like it was kind of like Pac-Man. There was no end though.
Right. Did you pick up the 2016 version?
No.
No, then who cares? It is the equivalent of a hack and slash, but in first-person shooter. So you might actually like it.
I've seen some crazy chain combos, like for people playing Doom. Like that look pretty cool, but I'm like, I don't know.
I've seen those. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The guy jumps down, steps on one monster's head,
and just keeps going. And it's just like I was trying to fall to the ground. Yeah.
So we'll see how the PS5 does, man. Yeah, I'm torn because I'm part of this, quote unquote master race now, and it's like I don't really have any other games. But they're gonna release the God of War. I'm hoping that it'll be on PS4, but more than likely they're gonna be like, no, sorry, you gotta buy a 5. And I literally bought the PS4 for
God of War.
Yeah.
So
didn't buy it for Days Gone. I'll tell you that much. Turned that shit on the other day, started up like, all right, tonight's tonight. Looked at it, I was like, tonight is not tonight. That went right up.
The game was garbage. The game is garbage, and I warned you about it and told you not to play it.
Dude, it looks amazing. Like when you're walking around, like man, the textures, everything looks great in this game.
Okay, I'm gonna come load Skyrim on your computer and load you into Skyrim.
You're not gonna load anything over here, man. You come over here and loading stuff. I'm pulling out my illegally purchased gun. Shoot you. That's right. Zach sold it to me in the parking lot. Thanks a lot, Zach.
Click. It leaves. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching the episode tonight.
I'm gonna move on to the next one.
All right, we getting away from the console?
Yeah, because you know what? Here's the thing, right? Because eventually, if we don't move away from this topic, it's going to turn into an argument, right? Because we're going to start talking in circles. We're going to start attacking each other. So I found the perfect way for me and Zach to communicate. I let him get the last word, so he thinks, and then I just kind of throw one more thing in on the subject, and I move right along to the next subject.
No, I don't think it would turn into an argument, but
God damn it! You're trying to get the last word right now. I'm trying to segue us on right to the next subject here. Here we go.
What's the next subject?
Last word on that subject was me, and moving on to Disney Plus.
Oh, Disney Plus, the one that I called.
Yeah, you did. Oh, now you called.
Oh, I called
it. So Wonder Woman is coming straight out on video on demand.
Okay.
Wonder Woman 1984. Disney just released one of its Onward or Wayward. One of its movies is coming out not straight to digital. It was in the theaters for a little bit, and now it's going straight to video on demand. So I think I'm speculating the reason they can't do this on Disney Plus is there's no option that allows you just to purchase something one time, and they would have to do quite the overhaul to the
They're
actual
doing it to
app.
Hulu, right?
No. They're doing it to your regular, wherever you get your movies, like Apple Movies.
Oh, okay.
Google Play, that type of stuff.
I get them from a theater.
Yeah, with your movies? Wait, you get them from a theater?
Yeah.
What is that?
That's where I go. That's where I go to see movies. I go to a place and I sit in a chair.
No, those places don't exist anymore.
Oh, that's a good point. Mark Cuban has to be pulling his fucking hair out.
Mark Cuban, what is his main source of revenue?
He sold some software company.
Okay. Anyway, actually, he's one of my favorites on that show.
Shark Tank? Me too. He is definitely my favorite on Shark Tank.
I do not like the addition of the guy, the ghost, what is that? The Go Cam. What is the name of the camera? The little camera?
Oh, I haven't watched the newer seasons. I was making my way through them while I was in California.
Yeah.
And
GoPro.
I don't really remember the last half of those. So
listen. Anyway, I digress. So that's what Disney's going to do. And it appears just now in the rumor mill, it looks like they're not going to release Black Widow, which is what I said. If they do it, it'd be really cool. And they should do it. But it looks like the MCU, being the most profitable part of that company, they're like, no, we got to figure out a way to make sure that this comes out in the theater. So looks like they're looking at a new release date. I say just release it on video on demand. Sure, you're not going to get $14.99 per person that's watching it in the household. And then you're going to have to deal with the issue of people who are sharing Google Play and Apple streaming services. So you're losing out on another $14.99 by 3 in each household. But you're still going to get some revenue back on that.
Yeah, and what's nicer? Well, actually, I'm starting to think about this. Not for movies, right? Most of the time, like if me and you made an album, right, and we sold it just on our app, we are making 100% of that money, unless we sign some sort of weird exclusive record deal, which sign us, I guess. With a movie, you do that, you're still not making 100% of that because you're paying for hosting, you're paying for distribution, and really what you're missing out on is the licensing that you license to, AMC, right? Yeah. You license to AMC and they pay you, X amount of money to play it in a certain movie theater for a certain amount of time, and how many copies you're going to get and all of that. Like you're missing out a lot of that money too. I guess you do get a good portion of the direct pay from it, but I don't know if you'll make your, $100 million back.
Yeah. And here's the thing, because you bring up another good point, right? This whole epidemic may have, in regards to media and movie theaters, may have ushered us a little bit closer to something that AMC was already worried about when Movie Pass and other things. Is like, is it time for everything just to go digital, right? And it could be moving us a little bit closer there. But here's a huge problem, like you just stated, like I stated, they would have to. I don't think they would have to, but they would have to do such an overhaul on Disney Plus. Correct me in the comments or send us an email, whatever. How much work do you think goes into adding into Disney Plus a tab that says $14.99?
An intern could probably do it, to be honest, because generally they probably already built it in on the back end to do something like this in the future, right? Right. And just rotate movies in and out. I bet you it's a feature that probably just has to be enabled. I think, most of the time you say, they're going to proprietary build their app. I understand that, but there's a guideline that you're following, right? Yeah. The UI is what you're building. You're not building the back end of how you're doing your application, and whatever they copied, essentially, right, is what Disney's probably going to do. Has that feature in it of to rent or pay for a movie, I would think. Also, they own Hulu, which I believe you could do this on Hulu if you have the free version of Hulu.
You have to pay for. Yes, you can.
So they have the technology.
It
So,
exists.
They own
So
it. No, they would literally own it, right? Because they own Hulu. Do they also own Vudu?
No, I don't think. Who owns Voodoo?
I don't know. I'm looking that up right now.
They're just kind of out in the ether by themselves, right?
Parent organization, you're never gonna fucking believe this one.
Walmart.
Yeah,
I was just about to say they have some weird relationship with Walmart, and now I know that Walmart.
You know who owns Walmart?
Who?
The Waltons.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Disney, and then the so, a lot of analysts have been saying that this is the time for Apple to buy Disney. They were going to merge years back.
Does Apple have enough money to buy Disney?
Their net worth is trillions. Disney is in the billions.
Is it?
I believe so. That's what I was just watching when I was watching MSNBC.
1.3. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
No, it's funny. It's funny because they were thinking about merging. Bob Iger in his book talked about how that was going to happen, and then there were some things that happened after Jobs died was the nail in the coffin, and they didn't want to do business.
Okay. Yeah, no. Apple could buy. Jeff Bezos could buy Apple, or could buy Disney if he wanted to.
Yeah, and they could buy cheap now.
Right, good point, because the everything is closed. Yeah. World, land, all the ones around the world. They can't put things out in movie theaters. So I want to touch on movie theaters quick. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go for it.
Does this usher us away from movie theaters, or does this make movie theaters have to be better so there's a reason for us to go there? Have you ever been to an Alamo Drafthouse?
No.
So an Alamo Drafthouse, you've probably been to a place like this. Well, I'll explain it here in a second. There's 20 people in the movie theater, right? And they have seat service. You order your food before the movie starts.
Yes.
You order your drinks.
Yes.
Right. ArcLight has one. You order your food. You order your drinks, and it's delivered to you.
Yeah,
and
at your seat.
At your seat, they have the best seats, right?
Yes.
Other than apparently some have massage seats now. And I haven't been to one of those yet, but I fucking want to. Not right now, obviously. Well, I mean, if I'm the only one there, it's okay. But that do we move towards the Alamo Drafthouse style movie theater, right? Where it's an experience, it's a meal, you're getting everything right there. It's not terribly expensive, it's pricier than your average dinner, but you're getting a movie plus the meal. Right. Do we move towards that, or do we move towards away from theaters in general?
I think that is a good way to keep a niche market. And when I say niche, I mean in the best way possible, like going out for the experience, right? That's something
a small market. Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually really enjoyed it. When I went to go see Thor Ragnarok for the 4th time, when I had Movie Pass, I went to a theater in Simi Valley that was very much to a T what you described.
Sure.
Got there. It's amazing. All I ordered was like a Sprite, and they were like, no, sir, we'll bring it over to you. Because I'm that poor person trying to bring it from the concession stand.
Yeah.
They're like, no.
We'll carry you too if you want.
And it was a great experience. I think that's a great way to keep that industry alive, man.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you. This is not going to answer your question. You were in LA for a little bit. I just feel like the movie viewing experience is much better in Los Angeles.
Didn't go to a movie.
In California, because you have these mega theaters, and I know we have some here, but it's a much bigger thing. Like okay. You can go, and I believe those will exist, but I do think that people are getting to a place where they're like, why do I have to pay $14.99, $8.99, and then if my grandmother's coming, $10.69? I don't know who came up with that number.
Yeah, that's fair.
To like see the same movie and then have to pay for it over and over again, right?
Right, that's fair. Okay, so here's the next step, right? Have you ever been to an IMAX?
Oh, love them.
Right. Have you ever been to a 40 millimeter IMAX?
Yes.
So that is also an experience that you can't get in your house, right?
100% true.
The audio mixing is better, and the graphical fidelity is like perfect, right? Because it is as they shot, right? Now, have you ever been to a movie theater that does movies at a higher frame rate? Do you know what the frame rate is for movies?
No, I don't.
It's 29.97 frames per second.
Yes, I have been to a movie where they did a higher frame rate, and it's flopped.
Strange.
It's Have you ever seen The Hobbit 2?
No. I've never seen any of those movies. Remember?
Oh, that's right. Well, at any rate, I didn't know what was going on when I was in the theater. And I was like, does this look weird to anyone else? I'm looking around, but yes, I've seen that.
Like, is everything moving faster?
It's weird.
Yeah.
Also, when I went to go see Pacific Rim, that was yes, that was also a very good experience. So yes, that type of stuff I think needs to exist. You want to be able to do that with your family. You want to be able to do these things.
Fuck the family. Who cares?
I care, man. I got a family. I care.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Your family. Your family. Yes, not my family. I thought we were talking about my family. I don't want to go anywhere with that.
But I think we'll see. We'll see how they handle this whole thing, right? Because I just think that the pandemic that shall not be named, and we're not even monetized, but I'm so scared of the YouTube boogeyman that like they're gonna bury us even deeper under the algorithm. That if you say it out loud, it's like that's it. So here's what I'm gonna say. It's changed a lot of things in regard to the situation. Public gatherings. I wonder how long. It didn't take people too long to get over 9/11 and being able to do stuff like that.
You still can't make a 9/11 joke. They are actively making pandemic jokes. People are over
9/11 jokes.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. People do it. You
shouldn't. You cannot.
You shouldn't. And then comparatively, there are way more fatalities in 9/11 in a single moment than this thing. How many people died?
3,200.
How many people have died from?
Over 5,000.
Really? Is it up to 5,000?
Yeah.
Did you see the footage of Italy?
Nope. Don't want to see it. It's actually less than 3,000. 2,996 for a 9/11. And then, the subsequent amount of people who got mesothelioma.
Yes. And people are still dying from it.
Yes.
Here's what I want to see, right? I want to have the option to go to the movies, and then I also want to have the option to watch stuff. I also want to see Netflix go out of business because I'm tired of getting hooked on shows.
You've said this a few times now.
Like, I just started Altered Carbon on Netflix, and actually kind of liking the show.
Okay. I heard it was good.
I know what's going to happen. They're going to kill it before the 4th season.
Correct.
And it's their own property, but I know they're like, we're not paying these people anymore. That's that. No conclusion.
Yeah, but I was wrong about the pandemic deaths. It's actually closer to 12,000.
Is it?
Yeah, it's 11,400. We had
worldwide
between 19 to March 19th to March 20th. There was 1,300 deaths. So
this has changed social gatherings forever, and I just wonder how long it's going to take for people to get back to that.
It's not only changed social gatherings, it's changed the way people are going to be educated, right? Yep. They're going to be college campuses closing because they can do it all online, probably more efficiently. It's going to change the way people work. The work from home is going to be a way bigger part of your job. Well, not for you, but for me. The sick leave in the U.S., I think, will be substantially better coming out of this.
Yep.
It'll be legitimate sick leave. And I just think, social gatherings will definitely be affected, but damn sure as soon as hockey's back, I'm going to a game. So I don't care that much, to be honest. I care about it right now, but the social gathering aspect on the other side probably won't bother me that much.
You know what this whole thing has forced me to do? Oddly enough, I'm eating healthier, right? Because even though there's nothing you can do to prep your immune system for this, right? There's no amount of ginkgo biloba, or however you pronounce that word, or any of that other stuff you can do, but it's made me look at a lot of dietary stuff. And you remember how I used to have, an energy drink or so at work and stuff like that? I've cut it out.
You weren't allowed to have those.
I'm not allowed to have those, but every once in a while I would have one.
Right, every once in a while.
Now I realize you can't do that stuff, man. You just can't be pumping your body full of crap. Also, I think people are going to remember this moment. I hope they do, and they take a long, hard look at how much faith we've placed in our infrastructure. And now this is exposing the gaps, not only in that medically, monetarily, but also spiritually for a lot of people. The isolation that people are dealing with right now really, really makes them ask questions about their mortality. And
I agree. But here's the issue, though, right? And you're kind of like this too, and probably more so in your older age than in when you were my age. But
right.
I welcome the isolation. It's what I was doing already anyway.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm not the most isolated person. Right. I'm fairly social. When it comes to be the right time. But in general, I like to be isolated.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just normal for me, other than the fact that I've been working way more hours.
My wife, if this came down to survival right now, she is built for this. She's like, I'm in the house all day already with 3 psychopaths
With 3
all
people
day
trying to subsequently kill themselves and me.
Yeah. She's like isolated. She's like, this is just another day for me. But here's what I'm hoping. And if anyone's listening to this, I'm going to
Of
stand
power.
of power. I'm just standing on my soapbox, and people who have no power feel as if though they are marginalized. Hold on to your bearings. This is not the time to abandon your your sensibilities and reason. It's gonna pass, or it might just become a part of life. But we can overcome this thing as long as we remember that PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X are just around
coming out this year. I knew that's where you were going with that, and I was just waiting.
No, keep your heads about you, people. This is not the time to panic. Don't buy all the food if your neighbor is an old person, an elderly person.
Yeah, really don't, because they're probably gonna go first. And you can have their food.
Whoa. Anyway,
is that not the direction we were going with that?
What do we have? What do we got left? We got 1, 2.
We got one other thing. No. Let's cover your stupid Star Wars TV show thing. So, who was this Rosario Dawson person, and what character are they playing? A character from the Clone Wars cartoon?
Correct. Ahsoka Tano was introduced in the Clone Wars.
Can you say that name a little bit slower? I can't quite understand.
I'm not sure if this might be the only name I ever say correctly on this show. Ahsoka Tano.
Ahsoka Tano.
Yes.
Okay, continue on.
She was created, as you just stated, for the Clone Wars animated series that came on Cartoon Network, I believe, co-created by Dave Filoni. I forget the other guy's name. And she was not the most popular character instantly, but became popular as the show stayed on and people grew to love her. She is the Padawan learner of the fictional character Anakin Skywalker, who later became Darth Vader.
Okay. I have a really funny Star Wars joke after this is all done.
No such thing. But they reprised her role in Star Wars Rebels, which everyone went crazy over. I came to that table way late. I watched Star Wars Rebels like 2 years after it had been off air and enjoyed every bit of it. But Rosario Dawson at one point was asked by a fan on Twitter, would she be willing to play Ahsoka Tano? And she replied, and I quote, "Yes, please. Hashtag Ahsoka lives." Which is, if you get that hashtag, there's a point where, yeah. So, and it kind of just, kept going after that. It kept going. And it got officially leaked today. And then I believe at some point confirmed, because everyone's reporting on it. And people are going crazy. And it's kind of a little gem of hope, of stupidness. I'm not making any money off of this, but I'm genuinely excited because she's going to be on The Mandalorian Season 2. A show that, in my opinion, did better than the entire new franchise at 45 minutes an episode. And you know what? I'm going to shoot a shot at at one of our co-creators here on YouTube, but I'm not going to say their name. There have been so many content creators that wanted to hate that show. And you know why, Zach? Because the fans enjoyed it. So they assumed you were part of the fandom menace. Like you were some crazy Star Wars fan sitting at home inside your Jabba the Hutt
costume.
I
hated the show for this reason.
But people just enjoyed it because it kind of got them away from the one thing no one wants to deal with, right? They don't want to deal with reality when they're watching their fictional show. They want to see something that's going to help them escape, and The Mandalorian was pretty cool for that. And so we're looking forward to Season 2. And I think that Disney Plus really got to win with that one. They got to get some new content on that thing quick, fast, in a hurry. But that's it.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Season 2 of The Mandalorian. I thought it was my best show of last year, to be honest. I love the way that the characters developed from start to finish. The little baby Yoda meme that came out of it, I loved that as well. I saw a really funny meme on Twitter, and you're gonna get this and you're gonna laugh, right? So it was showing the different Jedis. It was like Anakin Skywalker, and then it was like Darth Vader or Maul or whoever the fuck these next people are. And then it showed one where it was the Padawans, and it was just one of the lightsabers sticking through the guy's arm as he's laying face down. You're still muted there, buddy.
Sorry, it's probably good that you didn't want to hear the laugh. I just
if I can find it, I'll get back to you on that one. But yeah, I thought it was amazing.
You know, you really missed out on a great night when we went to go see the last Star Wars movie. I remember at one point I was slumping so deep into my seat. If you remember, you had just left the school, right? You had just finished your paid leave, but the next day we had that entire school meeting that they have early in the morning.
Yep.
And I was like, is this what I lost 4 hours of sleep for? Horrible. But I'm looking forward to this because I think there is some fan service that's due to some Star Wars fans, and you know, it's like you can't have two successful franchises apparently. Like, so when the MCU started taking off and people started pitting it against Star Wars fandom, I was like, well, this is a fight that Star Wars is going to lose. I'm like, there's no way that you're going to be able to compete overall. Even though if you look at averages, Star Wars had done better in the box office in regards to $1 billion with a smaller market. I beat you to it. So we'll see how this whole thing plays out. I think it's going to be great, man. And yeah, I'm gonna get with the fat mantis on this. I'm sure he's buttering himself up right now in his little man cave, making his video. I want to see what the reveal is. I think he actually may know her personally, so that's going to be interesting too.
Okay.
Right? You know, so we'll see how that goes.
That's cool. Yeah, it's always exciting to see a new character introduced into something that's is. So is the Mandalorian canon?
Yes, it is canon. It's what you refer to as new canon.
New canon?
Yeah.
What's the difference between new canon and just regular canon?
So it's like new canon is like it came out with the new movies and it's been canonized because it does refer to the original three movies. But basically, when they came out with those new movies, oh god, please do not attack me in the comments because I'm just telling you the truth here. The expanded universe of Star Wars, all the books that came out after the first three, all that stuff got shafted. Knights of the Old Republic, all that stuff used to be considered canon.
Okay.
And now it's not. So, new canon.
Interesting.
Somewhere, somehow, some angry Star Wars fan is going to be writing a long comment right now.
That's fine. That's fine. We welcome your long comment, and I will make fun of you in the comments from the official Gaming with a Dad
YouTube channel that you
YouTube channel.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Absolutely, you should do all those things. But honestly, let's get real to this here for a second. Who gives a shit about Star Wars? Who cares? They're not good. None of them are good. Like, stop. Get some help. They're not good. If you're an actual Star Wars fan and that's like your thing, Star Wars, fucking watch a real series.
You're gonna wake up tomorrow and there's gonna be a bunch of cloaked men standing outside, coughing with their inhalers, like screaming at you. Mom, I said meet me around the back.
That's fine. I'll take all of them.
Are you really gonna talk about work stress?
No, I deleted it.
Oh, you deleted it? Oh, well, good, man.
I deleted it. I don't really care. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with my car.
There you go. So what do we got coming down the pipeline? We're going to be making some announcements here, Zach.
We're going to be making some announcements. Spoilers. We're not doing any spoilers on this show, so keep tuned. This week coming up in videos. You guys are actually getting a full week of videos. We played Star Wars. We played Star Wars Battlefront 2 for 55 minutes and played.
Fun game.
One game. But if there was my full gameplay, which I actually thought about doing because yours was kind of, it was all right. I thought about doing just my full gameplay, which I didn't. I can include Steve in there. I actually think Steve has the lion's share of the gameplay on the channel this upcoming week. I slayed out. I slayed the fuck out. I had like 130 eliminations. Steve had, not less than that. We're not gonna ruin the number 35, for you.
But I earned every one of those kills, man.
Steve had 35, and I think 30 of them were assists.
That's BS, man. You know what? I typically play so much better when I don't play with you. You know why? Because the pressure's not on.
I don't understand why there's pressure when I play. You're going to have to explain this to me. Why do I put pressure on you when I'm just playing adjacent? I'm not
you're a toxic player, man. You're that guy. You come in the room at an esport game event. You throw your Sprite can at someone's back. I do like
Sprite. I do like. It's a diet Sprite can. Get that right, please.
You know what? Soda isn't supposed to be thirst quenching, but anytime I think of Sprite, I always assume it's gonna quench my thirst, and I'm never wrong.
I love Sprite, dude. That's a real soda. And if you're a 7-Up person over Sprite, get the fuck out of here. Unsubscribe for the channel. You're wrong.
What's that generic stuff? The
Sierra
generic
Mist?
Sprite? Is that the generic brand?
No, I don't think it is.
You know what?
Sierra Mist is not bad.
Sierra Mist is great. There's this stuff that Californians drink, and I always forget. And it's like
Fanta?
I forget. No, it's like a seltzer drink, and they all drink it, and I got hooked on it while I was
LaCroix?
there. Yes, that stuff. You should see it at a free picnic in front of a senior citizen home. Like, everyone has it in their house.
Do you like seltzer?
I love seltzer, man. You know what I haven't had in a while was a Truly. I have not had one.
Oh, really?
I'm off of that stuff. I think it was starting to eat the stomach lining away.
It definitely was.
It was like letting out the worst burps ever.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I haven't had any Trulies recently either.
I haven't been drinking either, man.
I had a few drinks tonight.
Trying to keep the immune system tough, man.
I thought about that, but I've kind of given up on the fact that my workplace has kind of had a confirmed case. So
really,
yeah. Not from someone that works there, but from someone that was entering. So
yeah,
I kind of had to shut the whole building down.
In unrelated news, I saw a case that remember we were talking about low profile cases and not having to go mini ITX.
Yeah.
Found a case that looks really cool. And I was like, man, why does this case seem so familiar to me? Why do I feel like I've had this, like, seen this before? And then I realized, like, oh, you freaking idiot. That's the case that you were given and you just recycled because it didn't have all the parts. And I've never seen it fully assembled before. And I was like, this is a nice case. And I was like, I think that's the same case you have on your PC, right?
No, mine's slightly different. And mine is way worse. And I hate my case.
Why?
I hate it so much that when I decide that my computer needs an upgrade, it's a new fucking PC build this time. And this thing I'm throwing this thing out a window.
Why? What's wrong with the case?
The case is really hard to build in. So the way that the case works, it's technically a test bench. So everything sits flat on the top and underneath in the basement. The power supply is right back to back with where your hard drive bays are. So to get anything on the power supply in or out, or any of the hard drives in or out, you have to fit your hand in there or fully disassemble and take out the power supply and the hard drive bays. So it's just a pain in the ass to work with. It was meant to be set up once and never be touched again.
You described it. It sounded cool. I'm thinking about that slant test bed, and I'm just like that hand.
No, it's not a slanted one. It's flat.
Oh, it's not.
But and it's a full enclosed case where a test bed is usually outer, like it doesn't have an outer casing, right? It's a Targa case, really.
So let me ask a question. When you do the upgrade, are you going to like upgrade components, or just the case is all you're going to upgrade?
No. Everything. I'm going to do a full new PC build.
Really?
I've only ever done one full PC build.
What are you going to do with your old
parts? I will do anything in my power to make sure you don't get them. No, what would happen is that the recording PC would get cycled out because that's technically the worst of the two.
Okay, and then
this PC would become the recording PC, and everything just kind of moves. That won't happen for a while. I don't think I'm gonna do that unless these stimulus checks come through. Then I'm going straight to Newegg with this shit. I'm spending $5,000-$6,000 getting a PC out here. We're gonna get it.
That's not what that money's for, Zach. It's supposed to be surviving.
No, it's supposed to be to stimulate the economy, Steve.
Oh, good point.
I'll inject, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 in the economy to build a PC. I don't give a fuck.
The last time I checked, my fantasy PC build, after giving some real consideration to it, has now come down to, let's see, we are at $1,200 and $1,225.
My fucking full fantasy PC build, I think, is like $6,000.
Yeah, see, no, I'm not doing that. But what we got here is the Ryzen 9 900X. We got an MSI Arsenal gaming board. We got an E.
He has it on deck, ladies and gentlemen. Think about this. Think about the fact that he has this on deck.
We got a GeForce RTX 2060, which is subject to change depending on what card comes out by the time I put away enough money, putting $1 away every day for the rest of my life. And then, just it
would literally be 10 years before he had enough money to do a good PC build, but okay.
G-Skill, 32 gigabytes. And then thinking about going Cooler Master next time around for the case.
Oh, okay. That's what I have. A Cooler Master half XB, I think is what this thing is called. And it should be Cooler Master. Don't ever fucking buy this piece of shit. Sorry, Cooler Master. I know we just ruined that sponsorship deal, but Fractal's better anyway. So,
what is it called? Cooler Master? What?
I think it's called a half XB. Half XB Evo. It is, and it's HAF, not HALF. It is the worst case that I've ever built in. And I've built in a lot of different cases, man. I've done probably about 100 builds. And this thing is absolutely the worst. I like the way it looked originally, and now I hate it with every fiber in my being. I've never hated anything more than I hate this fucking case.
Yeah, it looks pretty complicated to build.
It sucks. It sucks. I had everything about it. I don't know if I've been adamant about saying that enough, but it is the fucking worst.
It just looks like a media server, to be honest with you. Like,
that's exactly what it looks like.
It should be parked somewhere with all your illegal movies on it.
Probably should. That's exactly what it should be. But I couldn't. It only supports 4 hard drives. And it's not even good at what it does. Right? It looks like it should be a media server, so it should carry a bunch of hard drives, right? 8, 10 hard drives? 4.
I mean, I can see why you bought it. It's minimal. I can see why you bought this, though. For sure.
Yeah, I did too, until I had to build on
it. And you're like, I hate my life. I hate this case.
Dude, my first time building in it, and I was just like, this was the worst fucking idea that I've ever had.
How did you feel once you got everything inside?
Never touching any of this again. And then I swapped the new motherboard into it.
You know, if it fails, I'm throwing it out the window, moving back to PlayStation.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, in the recommended in the similar items is literally a home theater computer case. Like,
that's what I'm talking about, man.
So stupid, dude. It's so stupid. I should have just got a little case instead of this thing. I literally would have rather had had to build in an ITX case than this.
You got a day off tomorrow, don't you?
Tomorrow's the only day off I have, yeah.
Zach, go enjoy your day off, man. We're gonna sign off with some power here.
Okay.
Parting words, Zach. What do you got for the people? You always leave them with something to keep them going for another week.
Don't buy the Cooler Master half XP Evo. It is for morons and people who buy in on hype from 2007 about why these flat modular cases are good. Fuck Cooler Master. Fuck the Cooler Master half XP Evo. If you want a good case, go Fractal Design. Get an NZXT. Get the Corsair 700D. That thing is amazing. Corsair 700D is amazing. Get a thermal take case. Honestly, get anyone else. Fuck Cooler Master.
I was just telling someone today, long when after society crumples when they find footage of gaming with a death. Or we'll be the last media outlet transmitting before the internet goes dark. I'm definitely going to go through my "you didn't know I hated you, but I hate you" list right at that.
Cooler Master's my number one right now. You got me real fired up about this computer case. And I kicked it the other day, and I was pissed. And it was my fault. It sat in the same spot for the last year and a half since I got it. It's at that exact same spot, and I managed to hit it with my foot, and I was pissed.
You know what, man? I think that maybe it was a bad move for Valkyrie and these guys to go YouTube.
Guaranteed money is a streamer's best friend because that is a volatile industry. It is
did you know that your favorite chill station went down on YouTube for a little while? That one with the girl who's just sitting in the animation, she just listens to music.
Lo-fi?
Yeah, it went down and people went into full scale revolt mode.
I'm angry thinking about it. Actually, this is the message. If that ever goes down, that is when the world ends for me. And that I was listening to it earlier today. I was literally listening to that while editing videos today.
I didn't realize that is like one of the number one downloads for coffee shops. Like they just put that on.
Yeah. There's also always like 45,000 plus people watching it.
Yeah.
Those people were just like, they did it one day and we're like, wow, 10,000 people and we have 2 hours worth of content. Hire writers. And I want a lot of low hums and a lot of melodical piano.
Man.
And we are gonna fucking ride this cow to the bank. And they've kept riding.
I did find a bad game that was like when you suggested like we should find a bad game to play.
What'd you find?
But someone's gonna get mad at me. Free Fire. This game's horrible.
Free Fire?
Free Fire, is that the name? Garena Free Fire. Garena.
What is this? Oh, this is a mobile game, Steve.
Is it? No wonder it looks so bad.
Yeah, this is the mobile PUBG. Wow, this looks really bad. This looks hilariously bad.
Are you sure this is mobile?
Yeah, best battle royale on mobile.
Oh yeah, now that makes everything makes a lot more sense.
Oh, I actually clicked on their webpage. It's in my fucking search history.
All right, good night, everyone. I'm going to bed. I got to go to work tomorrow.
Good night.